Welcome to the Unpopped Review, movie reviews from a movie lover and not a movie critic. The king of horror movies, James Wan, returns to direct a sequel to his 2013 horror hit. This is The Conjuring 2. The Conjuring 2 once again follows the paranormal investigators Ed and Loraine Warren. The first Conjuring movie followed the Warrens through the investigation of the parent haunting in 1971. This sequel takes place in 1977 with the Einfeld poltergeist of North London. And this is just 1 year after the most famous investigation of the Amityville horror. First, let's talk about what's good about the movie. I like how the focus of the movie was much more on the family and the house than rather the Warrens themselves. Although the actors that portray the Warrens are still great, I'm always just more interested in the stories of the hauntings themselves rather than the investigators. So in this movie, the Warrens still are a big part of the story, but most of it focuses around the house and the family. Next, we gotta talk about how much I really love horror movies. And usually I'm not too picky about what style of horror movie I like. I like zombies, vampires, demons, torture, monsters. It really doesn't matter that much. But for some reason, my least favorite have always been ghosts and haunted houses. I don't know particularly what it is about ghosts, I just don't find them very interesting. And the movies that are made of them usually aren't as good as others. But The Conjuring 2 has done something that almost every other haunted house movie has failed at. Made me love a ghost story. I really can't put my finger on why I like the story so much, but it was just so dang good. And then let's go on to the camera work. To me, this is what separates a cult horror movie to actually a good horror film. Horror movies are often plagued with boring and predictable camera work. You see an empty spot, something's gonna pop up there. Or the camera moves to the right, something's coming from the left. It's usually always so predictable. However, what The Conjuring does is allow a scene to breathe. The camera will move and you expect something to jump out at you, but it doesn't. Instead, something small happens, something that is still building the intensity, building the fear. And then sometimes this happens for 5 or so minutes. And then when the scare happens, it is even better because it had time to build and intensify throughout the scene. And continuing on with the camera work, we have to talk about the scares themselves because this is a horror movie. And like any other horror movie, this is filled with jump scares. And usually jump scares are a lazy way to get an audience to react. But as I said before, what makes Conjuring 2 different is the way it allows the scene to breathe and build and intensify. So rather than simply relying on a jump scare, the terror is realized long before as it intensifies and builds and gets better, and then it happens. Now that was all the good, let's go to the air. Now I'm really stretching with these because although I don't think this movie is perfect, it is pretty dang close. Honestly, the end of the movie plays like any other ghost story. And the only redeeming part are the actors that are in the movie. They made the payoff to a very traditional ending better. Now the next thing I think could have been done better is the truthfulness of the story. Because since this movie is based on a true story, there are two sides of whether people think this is real or faked. And there are many skeptics that have documented and have proven that this was actually a faked event. And these people are even depicted in the movie, their proof is shown, and even though both sides are shown, it is very clear from an audience perspective what is going on. And I just feel if it was a little more ambiguous, if it was a little more is it true, is it not true, it could have been a little bit better. And honestly, I know why they didn't do this, because it would have made the scares less intense. So I'm not mad about it, I just think it's something that would have been interesting. You can probably tell by how much praise I gave this movie that there is nothing ugly in it. It is a fantastic horror movie, and honestly it's sitting in my top 10 favorite movies this year. So if you enjoy horror movies, I say The Conjuring 2 is worthy to see in theaters and then buy on Blu-ray. So that's what I thought of The Conjuring 2. What did you think? And what are some of your favorite horror movies? Leave your comments below, don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember to always keep it unpopped.